Conclusion. First, I want you to think about how many views this video has. Divided by 250, that's how many people are actually in the game. That's your competition. If it gets 8,000 views, that's 32 people. There's 32 people watching this video that are truly in the game. Like actually in it. So take heart, acknowledge each other. Shout out to the other 30, 31. You know what I mean? But this is what I want to talk about real quick. If you truly think about how much money is in the world, we live in a world that favors people who create things, not consumers. So here's an exercise. You guys know I love my gardener creators. Theoretically, I did some research. There's around 50,000 gardener creators. Creators talking about carrots, pumpkins, all that stuff. Okay? 50,000. Oh my gosh, that's so much competition. Oh my gosh. If we talk about the principle that maybe 1 out of 250 are truly in the game, I truly think it's less. I think it's 1 out of 1,000. But if let's say 1 out of 250 is truly in the game, that leaves us to only 200 gardener creators that have pushed through. They're not going to quit. They've bought in, like they are in it. They're investing in their business. They're investing in themselves. They paid for the coaching. They paid for the course. They're working hard. They're after it. All right. They're posting every day, no days off. They're literally treating this like they're Kobe Bryant. Okay. 200. That's it. They're like, oh, that's still so much competition. This is where shit gets crazy, guys. The money that is in the gardening creator economy is around $500 million. That divided by 200 creators is about $2.5 million for each creator. This is why there's no competition. Because the world favors people who create things and it punishes consumers. So there's so much money for this small group of people who truly add value to their niche. So freaking get after it. I'm going to drop in the comments, in the caption, some more principles that I've learned about this, but just take the jump. Risk is not real. Competition is not real for the few.
Let's see how much money I spent in a day visiting New York City as a guy who wants to do and see everything. Started off the morning at Blank Street with an $8.75 coffee. My suitcase is already full, but that wasn't going to stop me from shopping, so I went to Fifth Ave and picked up this beautiful jacket for $163.36. All that walking and shopping made me a little hungry, so I took the subway up to Central Park to grab lunch with some friends. The beautiful thing about New York is that you can see and do so many things for free, just like walking around Times Square, Central Park, the Brooklyn Bridge, and so much more. As you guys know, in my last video, I was on a mission to find the best pizza in New York, so I spent about $26 trying out some really good pizza. Nighttime is where things got pretty expensive pretty quickly because I wanted to do so many things. I went to my first ever comedy show. I went to my first ever Broadway show. 10 out of 10 recommend if you've never been before. So by 9 p.m. I was already at $540, but both me and my MX were still hungry, so we headed to Shake Shack and spent another $14.11. This is when me and my friends decided that the night wasn't over, so we booked $50 tickets to go see the Summit, an absolute beautiful experience that's worth every penny. So for a day filled with food, shopping, priceless memories, and experiences, I spent a total of $604.84. New York never disappoints, but it's time to head back to Palm Beach.
Living at home with your parents in your 20s is embarrassing. Says who? Because I think the only thing that's embarrassing is you not having any money in your bank account. You drowning in credit card debt because you want to live a life that is well beyond your means. Especially in today's economy, in today's job market, literally nothing is embarrassing. And if you have a good relationship with your parents and they won't make your mental health spiral, living with them is not embarrassing. Matter of fact, it is the opportunity of a lifetime. Use it to stack your bread, Swin. The only reason that I was able to save my first $100,000 was because I lived at home, was because I saved and invested all my money. Me sacrificing and delaying gratification in my teenage years and early 20s has now allowed me at 26 years old to live a very comfortable life, one that is financially stress-free. I live in my dream apartment. I have hundreds of thousands of dollars saved and invested. I can travel when I want to. I can treat out my friends and family whenever I want to. And there are a lot of factors that contribute to where I'm at in life now, but I wouldn't have been able to achieve any of it had I not built my foundation financially while living at home with my parents. I think everybody should move out and get away from your hometown eventually because that is how you experience the most growth and level up as a person, but do it in a smart way and set yourself up for success. And on top of all the financial shit, spend time with your parents. The time that you get with your parents is invaluable because one day they won't be here, one day you won't be here. So spend time with them, tell them you love them, and fuck anybody that clowns on you for living at home. If you want to be better with money and have more of it, here are the 5 bank accounts that I use to be financially free in my 20s. Starting off with number 1, which is a checking account. This is where your checks get deposited. This is where you pay your bills. And honestly, I wouldn't have more than 1 to 2 months worth of expenses sitting in that checking account because you don't earn any interest on it. Then number 2, we have a high yield savings account, HYSA. I personally use American Express, but you could also use SoFi, you can use Ally, but whatever the amount is, you'll typically get between 4 and 5% back on your money. So whether you have $1,000 or $40,000, you want most of your liquid cash sitting in there so you could earn free money on it. Next up is a retirement account, and whether you have a 401k set up through your company or a Roth IRA, which is something that you set up through a brokerage account, you need to invest in your future. The earlier that you start, the more your money will be able to compound, and by the time you're 65, you'll have millions of dollars. Now, most people never mention this one, but I think it's really important, especially if you're starting to think about investing into crypto or Bitcoin, but you need a digital wallet or a digital asset account. I personally use Coinbase, but you can use Robinhood as well. By opening these 5 accounts, you are setting yourself up for financial success, and you'll be so much more well equipped to handle all the money that's going to come your way in the new year. And if you want to see me open up a Roth IRA and invest into the stock market, follow for tomorrow's video. Peace. These are the 5 money rules that I live by as a single 26-year-old that just hit $1 million net worth. Starting off with number 1, you need to set one financial goal every single year, and these goals are going to vary year to year. When I was 18, it was to save my first $10,000. Then it was to make $100,000 in a single year, and this year is to make $300,000, which I'm on track to do. Make sure your goal is slightly outside the realm of what you think is possible and work your ass off every day to achieve it. Rule number 2 is truly why I believe I have such good control over my finances, and that's because I track every single dollar that I make, save, invest, and spend. And if you need help doing that, my budget tracker is linked in my bio. Rule number 3 is that I automate my finances. So before I could spend any money on myself, buying nice things or traveling, I make sure that my investments are taken care of. Every single time I get paid, I automatically buy stocks. I automatically buy crypto without me having to do anything. It is fully automated. Next up, I will never borrow or lend money to another person. I think a bank is a completely different situation if you need a business loan or a mortgage, but another person that I have a good relationship with is a no-go. I think money just tends to ruin relationships, especially when you are borrowing or lending another person money. So if I ever give someone money, it is a gift and I want nothing in return. And lastly, if I ever want to buy something really expensive, which I consider to be between $500 and $1,000 or more, I am not allowed to buy it in that moment. I have to wait at least 2 weeks. And after that 2 weeks, if I still really want it, I'm then allowed to purchase it. But more times than not, my adrenaline and dopamine wear off and I don't even want that thing anymore. What rules do y'all live by? Peace. I made about $30,000 last month from social media, so I wanted to share the 5 ways that I make money by talking to you guys because we don't gatekeep over here. Starting off with number 1 is your views. A lot of platforms will pay you based off the views that you generate on their platform. So I currently get paid on TikTok and Facebook, and YouTube and Instagram don't pay me anything. Last month I made about $6,000 for my views across all my platforms, but it was also a really good month. But on average, I make typically between $1,000 and $2,000 from my views. The next way I generate revenue is through my digital products, which are linked in my bio. And the only 2 things I sell are a budgeting template and a one-on-one call with myself. And through that, I was able to make $8,000 last month. Thank you so much to anyone that has either bought my template or booked a call with me. Next up, you have brand deals, and this breaks down into 2 categories because you have sponsored posts that go on your actual page, and then you have UGC, which is user-generated content, and that is content that goes up on the brand's page. Brand deals can fluctuate quite a bit depending on your following, depending on your engagement, depending on your niche, where you live, and a host of other factors. But generally speaking, I turn down 90% of brand deals that come my way because